Who would you say is the greatest white rapper of all time? I'm sure one Mr. Marshall Mathers, aka Eminem, immediately springs to mind. At least it did for me. And Reddit, the platform famous for its reasonable and balanced approach to debate, agrees it's Eminem, though there is some quibbling over minor contenders. But what if everyone's wrong? You, me, Reddit? Everyone. What if the answer is actually Gunnlaug, an Icelandic warrior poet whose legendary lyrics and flow come to us all the way from 990 CE in the Icelandic story, the Saga of Gunnlaug Serpent-Tongue? You heard that epithet right. He was spitting such venomous verses, he earned the name Serpent-Tongue, and you're hearing about it over 1,000 years after the fact. Now that's a lasting legacy. So this story is packed with useless name dropping. For example, the first person we're introduced to is Thorstein, and we're told he's the son of Eagle, the son of Skallagrim, the son of Hersia Kveldolf from Norway. His mother was Asgerd. She was Bjorn's daughter. Thorstein married Jofrid, the daughter of Gunnar Hilfason. Gunnar was the best fighter and athlete among the farmers in Iceland, and so forth. You can see what I mean. To keep things simple, here are the 5 key characters to remember. The aforementioned Thorstein, who's the greatest, most powerful chieftain in all of Iceland. Helga, Thorstein's daughter, and the most beautiful girl in the known world. Illugi, the second most powerful chieftain in all of Iceland. Obviously our rap god Gunnlaug, who's Illugi's son, and Hrafn, who's Gunnlaug's nemesis. I mean, it's a poor rapper who has no beef, am I right? Like all the good medieval Nordic sagas, this one starts with a premonition. A merchant staying with chieftain Thorstein tells him about a dream he had. There's a swan perched on Thorstein's house. An eagle flies down from the mountains, lands next to the swan, and they chill. Another eagle comes from the south and also tries to chill with the swan. The 2 eagles dogfight to the death. The swan, now all alone, sees a hawk and flies away with it. The merchant says to Thorstein, I reckon the swan's your soon-to-be-born daughter, lol. And Thorstein's livid at this, saying, F you and your dream, you don't know shit. I'm not your friend anymore. And he sure wasn't. Time goes on. It's years later and we're introduced to a precocious young 12-year-old Gunnlaug. He wants to go on a Euro trip. His dad Illugi says, absolutely not. Gunnlaug is a hothead and Illugi did not want his Aggie kid off leash. So what does our Gunny boy do? Raid daddy's valuables to Hock so he can sneak out of the country. Being a preteen, he's obviously caught. Illugi sends him to live with Thorstein to learn some manners. This is where Gunnlaug meets the beautiful Helga, who's about the same age, and the two become smitten kittens. It's to the point where Gunnlaug learns how to go about getting engaged and declares that's what he'll do with Helga, which elicits a whole bunch of mirth from the adults who think it's just adorable. Over the next 6 years, Gunnlaug spends half his time at home and half at Thorstein's. His hothead is tempered but still smoulders. Lucky for him, his speech skill level is maxed, and he discovers that he can practically worm his way out of anything. One time, he knocks a guy out cold, then talks his way out of paying a fair amount for the personal injury claim. Gunnlaug lays down some rhymes. The KO'd guy hears it and goes, oh damn, hell yeah brother, and accepts a lowball compensation offer. Even after all this time, the travel bug hadn't left Gunnlaug. He again asks daddy for travel money because he's no longer a 12-year-old delinquent. This time, the answer is yes. Before he sets off, he makes good on his childish declaration and asks Thorstein for Helga's hand in marriage. Thorstein isn't keen on betrothing his beautiful daughter to a dude who's about to set off globetrotting indefinitely, but Gunnlaug gets daddy to speak on his behalf. You know, powerful chieftain to powerful chieftain. And they agree Gunnlaug can marry Helga on the condition he returns within 3 years. Thus, happily having his cake and eating it too, Gunnlaug's adventures begin. And here's where his way with words forges his fortunes. His exploits go like this. First up, Norway meets Earl Eric, insults him, is banished from the realm under threat of bodily harm. This is later retracted because of a poem Gunnlaug drops about how great the Earl is and they become besties. Gets to London. Gunnlaug lays down such sick verses for and about King Ethelred, the king gives him a luxury fur coat, initiates him into the Ethelred England gang, lets him crash all winter, has him complete side quests for money, a sword, and a hectic gold armband. Jaunt up to Dublin, spits poetry for King Sigtrid, who's so impressed and flattered he decks Gunnlaug out head to toe in the finest clothes money can buy. A little stop at Orkney Islands, where his poems for the Earl there garner him a battle axe with a silver inlaid handle. On to Sweden, where he visits Earl Sigurd. You know the drill. It's all rap, rewards, renown. So far, that's 2 kings and 3 earls who've had their hearts charmed and their pockets emptied by Gunnlaug the Serpent-Tongue rap god. Will the real Slim Shady please sit down? Gunnlaug, clearly on a roll, then goes and visits the court of King Olaf of Sweden. He starts off with his usual, "My guy, wait until you hear this poem I wrote about you." The king's like, "Wait, who the heck are you? And why do I care?" A dude in King Olaf's court goes, Bro, this is Gunnlaug. He's Nepo baby brethren from one of the most powerful families in Iceland." And the king's all, right, sure. Well, no time for poetry now. Go over there and sit with your fanboy. I'll hear it later. The fanboy is Hrafn. The two start chatting about their travels. All, "You've been to Norway?" "No way. I've been to Norway." "You're a poet?" "I'm a poet." "Are we besties?" "I think we are." And so they were, right until the king pulls up and says he's ready to hear Gunnlaug's little poem. In the scene that follows, I can only imagine the king as an exasperated father trying his best with 2 squabbling children. It goes like this. "Come on, let's have it. Let's hear your poem." "But I've got a poem too." "Sure, I'll also hear yours. But I'm first." No fair. I got here first." God damn it. Gunnlaug, you go first, or else you'll be a bloody nightmare. Gunnlaug spits his rhymes. Hrafn, what do you think? Overhyped, just like Gunnlaug. Check out mine. And he lays it down. Thoughts, Gunnlaug? Yeah, it's pretty. Pretty dumb, just like Hrafn. What are you doing serving the king that trash? Got him. Whatever. Gold stars for both of you. I'm out. From then on, Gunnlaug and Hrafn are mortal enemies. It's the Biggie to his Tupac, the Drake to his Kendrick, the Mariah to his Eminem. There's not a butcher alive who can deal with their beef. They part ways from King Olaf's, and Gunnlaug heads back to London because he promised King Ethelred he would. By this stage, it's nearing 3 years since Gunnlaug left Iceland. He's ready to get back stat so that he can marry Helga. However, Denmark is making some invasion-y sounding noises, and the king doesn't want the best boy in his Ethelred England gang to leave him if there's a turf war brewing. The threat delays Gunnlaug's homecoming, so it's been well over 3 years when he finally set sail for home. On his journey, he's hearing whispers and rumours that Helga might be betrothed to someone else. These are confirmed when he finally arrives in Iceland. Soul-crushingly, not only has Helga been married off, it's to none other than his arch-nemesis Hrafn. Turns out, after Hrafn left Sweden, he decided to cuck Gunnlaug as the ultimate revenge for lyrically turning him out in front of King Olaf. Gunnlaug is devastated. While languishing in despair, Olugia, his dad, comes in and says, "Hey buddy, you know what the best revenge is? To live happy. And if you don't feel it, just fake it till you make it." So Gunnlaug gets dressed in all the finery acquired from spitting rhymes for various royals and goes to a party he knows Helga will be at. Meanwhile, Helga's super unhappy with her hubby, to the point Hrafn tells her he had a dream he was stabbed and she refused to stitch his wound so he bled out. And she's like, "Well, yep, that sounds about right. I absolutely despise you." She basically stops talking to him after finding out Gunnlaug's back. Helga sees Gunnlaug at the party for the first time since his departure. He's decked out in his drip and she goes all puppy-eyed. They get talking and it's clear their love is both mutual and strong. Gunnlaug gives her that sweet fur coat he'd gotten from King Ethelred as a keepsake, and Gunnlaug can't stand it. He goes to Iceland's big, important lawmaking place and shouts, "Where the heck is Hrafn?" Hrafn answers, "I'm right here, bitch. What you want?" Gunnlaug's all, "You stole my woman and knew it'd screw me over. Let's duel." And Hrafn goes, "You've made my day. Whenever, wherever. I'm so down." The fight's scheduled, and 3 days later they go at it in front of their families and all the important people in Iceland. As the challengee, Hrafn gets to swing first. He uses so much force that he breaks his sword on Gunnlaug's shield. The blade ricochets off and nicks Gunnlaug's face. The families come between them to stop the fight. Gunnlaug says he's won because Hrafn doesn't have a weapon. Hrafn says he's won because Gunnlaug's bleeding. Nothing gets resolved, except for a new law abolishing duels in Iceland. With the beef still blue, Hrafn takes a few of his buddies around to Gunnlaug's place one morning. He creeps in and wakes up Gunnlaug, who's understandably shocked to see his enemy standing over him. Hrafn's all, shh. Bro, it's okay. It's just bro, I can't get anywhere with Helga. She won't talk to me, bro. Not with you around. I was thinking, since we can't duel here anymore, maybe you and me take this international. Perhaps go to Norway and battle to the death, you know? Settle things once and for all. Gunnlaug's like, dude, bet. That's so smart. And hey, since you've come all the way here, why don't you chill a bit? Make yourself at home. Hrafn says, oh, man, thanks so much. much, but I really got to get going. Catch you soon, brother. Hrafn immediately sets off to Norway, but Gunnlaug, now knowing Helga's not having it with Hrafn, takes his sweet, sweet time. It's only when he sees some peasants mocking him about ducking the fight that he's like, damn, okay, that's hurtful, better go stand on business. By the time Gunnlaug catches up with Hrafn, they're in Sweden. They've got their boys with them who are also keen to have a scrap. The fight ends with Gunnlaug and Hrafn going at it until Gunnlaug chops off Hrafn's leg. Gunnlaug's won and will not fight a cripple. Hrafn's like, damn, you got me good, and now I need a drink, but I've got no leg. What's a thirsty boy to do? Gunnlaug says, I'll bring you some water from that river in my helmet, but you better not be tricking me. Of course he was. And when Gunnlaug hands over the water helmet, Hrafn says, if I can't have Helga, neither can you, and strikes Gunnlaug's head with his sword. I mean, obviously Gunnlaug kills Hrafn for this, but then he dies of his own wounds 3 days later. All the best artists are struck down in their prime. Gunnlaug's family is uber mad Hrafn acted so dishonorably and demand compensation, which Hrafn's family refuses. In lieu of compo, they raid Hrafn's hometown, maim one kinsman, and kill another. Gunnlaug's brother still isn't satisfied, so hunts down one of Hrafn's distant cousins, who has the unfortunate luck of also being called Hrafn, and he kills him. And with this, the respective families considered the matter settled. Helga's understandably heartbroken. She forever treasures the cape Gunnlaug gave her, eventually dying with it spread out in front of her. But before her demise, she ends up remarrying some guy who she could never love as much as Gunnlaug, but who she can live with since he's nice to her. And thus, the premonition is fulfilled. 2 eagles took each other out over the swan, who ended up with the hawk. The first time reading this book was hard going. With all the NPC names and side quests, it took a bit to understand who I should be caring about, what they were doing, and why. I imagine this may have served a record-keeping purpose back in the day to contextualize who was from where and why they mattered in the cultural history, but as a modern-day reader, it felt like grandma letting me know, Mabel plays bingo with a lovely chap Brian, and his cousin has a daughter who's a lesbian. Can you imagine? I hear she makes great hummus. The second read-through was easier since I could mentally filter out a lot of the fluff and follow the main plotline. That's not to say there isn't entertainment in all the tangential stuff. The way it's written is so matter-of-fact, it's hilarious. People are introduced, do one random action, and then it's announced, and he is now out of the saga. Like, thank you. It would have killed me not knowing where this random character with a random name in amongst a name salad story went if I wasn't told. And the poems. The badass verses that Gunnlaug accomplished so much with. Well, let's just say you gotta respect the lyrical forefathers for forging a path. And the legacy lasting over a millennia is undeniable. But, well, here's Gunnlaug's poem King Ethelred was frothing so hard over. All the armies in awe and agog, at England's good prince as at God. Everyone lauds Ethelred the king, both the warlike king's race and men's king. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum here, but really? That's all it took to make the King of England weak at the knees. Maybe it was a had to be there moment. One thing that was abundantly clear, and frankly very consistent with the small amount I know of medieval Norse folk, is how many different ways they refer to things that are clearly culturally valued. Some honourable mentions are serpent's bed and flood flame for gold, sword spell, and Valkyrie's warm wind for battle, slaughter tree and sword point reddener for warrior, drubbing thorn and war twig for sword, which also sound vaguely phallic, and billow steed and wave charger for ship. All in all, a fun little read if you're into Vikings, death matches for the sake of love, and puzzling out who the heck is relevant in some low stakes gossip. And to hear how Gunnlaug walked so Eminem could run. And that's all from me. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.